Hey guys, welcome back to the Technomancer. So, from our last episode, as you could see, I have been taking out the trash and taking all their stuff. So, I've accumulated a lot of equipment for us to sell. Lots of these full furry jackets are honestly, there's something else that we can get that's a little better, but these are a great way to start. It's a very, very good piece of armor. So, I've got both me and Scott decked out with one. We also got a precision gun for him. We got him in worker shoes, worry pants that we found in that chest before. I'm sticking with the worker pants. I got a lot of high resistance guns, and so the one that I picked is the one with disruption on it. So that way, like, every one of those shots has a better than 50% chance of actually stunning them and making it easier for me to get more shots off. And then for my weapon, I went with the curved serrated dagger, and just for the damage upgrade, because that's what we're doing when our gun and lightning's on cooldown. So, if we take a look at the map, we can see that there's 3 different traders in this area. Unfortunately, none of them have anything that we're interested in, at least right now. So we're not going to stop by any of them. Instead, we're going to go check out Anton Rogue so we can see more about the professor's assistant that disappeared and see if he knows anything about it. And then from there, we're going to head over to this bar here, and we're going to check out some of these quests, as well as show you a little bit of the crafting system and a little bit of how rest and experience works. So, I will see you when I get into Anton Rogue's place.
Look what the cat dragged in. A prodigal son. A diamond in the rough, risen from poor street trash to the godlike ranks of Technomancer. Now tell me, why am I so lucky to be in your presence?
Professor Charles Seeker. I'm looking for what happened to him. What can you tell me?
The dangers of having a mind, of using it, and especially of speaking it, I'm afraid. His research and political opinions push the line, and patience of some. Funny how smart and wise don't always go hand in hand. That said, word is he boarded a train. Not so much a pleasure trip, more like a forced hiatus given the military escort and the colonel's re-education camp he was bound for. No matter the power of the mind, the power of a gun always seems to gain the upper hand in the end, don't you think?
Alright, that's all we need out of him. So now we can return to that lady and tell her the news that we got from this crime lord here.
I gotta go.
Then go.
But before we do that, is there anything in here that we can take? Alright, more crafting stuff. Always happy to see more health injections. And we can't pick any of that. Now, we will come back and pick all these level 2 and level 3 chests later. But for now, it's not a big priority because all that's really in there is crafting materials. So I'm going to head over to the lady and I will re-edit so that way I'll meet you back when I found her. Alright, welcome back. We're in front of the clinic where this lady assistant was looking for her boss, the scientist. And now that we've talked to Anton and we know that he's actually been deported to basically labor camp, we can tell her the news and hopefully she'll pass on his research.
Veronica, I need a favor. I'm looking for access to the professor's compiled research documents. Might be a big help to me.
It's just not my work to share, Zachariah. If he came back, I don't think he'd be too pleased to find out I handed it away. You ever find out what happened to him?
We sure did.
From what I could gather, he was arrested and thrown into the correctional camp. Apparently his criticism of the government was more important to them than his work. Times we live in, I guess.
I don't even know what to... Such a loss. A waste. Maybe his work shouldn't be abandoned. If he's not coming back anytime soon, or at all, and you can do good with it.
Alright, and now we just hand the notes over to Scott.
Hi, Scott.
Hello, my boy. How are you? Nothing broken, I hope?
He's looking good in that Vori chest.
Unfortunately, I've received confirmation of what Veronica suspected. Charles was arrested and deported to a camp as a punishment for his comments. I'm sorry, Scott. I did bring back his research, though, since you wanted it.
Thank you, Zachariah. How awful. what is happening to our dear abundance. We won't beat Aurora if we get rid of our scientists. Anyway, I'll take a look at these documents. No doubt our dear Charles was worried. They're coded. It's funny, it reminds me of the code we used as students, so that the professors wouldn't know about our adventures. All this is a little far away. I'm gonna have to think about it. Thank you, Zach. Thanks again.
Oh, right. We got a lot of experience, and we got a little bit of reputation with Scott. Now, to my knowledge, we need him to be friendly with us to get the benefits. He's just good right now, so... He likes us, but not enough to go the extra mile. And we won't be getting an opportunity to raise that to friendly anytime soon. But that's okay. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head over to the bar in the slums, where there's going to be a lot of questing places and a bed where we can sleep and hang out. So, I'll edit the footage to meet you back there. And here we are at the Curiosities Bar. Now, when you get here for the first time, there'll be a couple of Vori guys you're probably going to want to take care of just to get their loot. And I want to make a note that as I've been transitioning between all these areas, I've been picking all the chests and the loot crates that I've been able to find. I highly encourage you to do this because while none of the items are really that important to note, all that crafting material is going to add up, and it's going to let you start making upgrades, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But first, let's get in here and talk to some of these guys and see what they have to say before we get to the crafting and the resting part of this game, which I have yet to explain.
Officer, please, please help!
What's wrong?
My fiancé just disappeared. He's not like him. I know something's happened to him.
Talk to me.
Yeah, his name's Derek Laver. He's just a worker like me, but he's also this amazing fighter. He was trying to get us out of this life by winning in the arena. And he was. But then, you know, these people, bad people, became really interested in him. And after his last fight, a lot of serum flies around in fights like this. And he usually wins, which makes people lose serum. And then, I don't know. Please find him.
I'll see what I can do.
And then let's check out with this guy.
Hey, new blood to the neighborhood. Name's Sam Rowe, bookmaker at the Curiosities, which means I not only take bets on the fights, but I set them up too. So, whatever your flavor, I'm your man. You a betting man or a fighting man? Care to dance?
More a fighter, I guess.
Yeah, you've seen the sort. We got two types of dance cards, see? On-demand fights for the beauty of the sport, and a tournament where the fighters instead gotta take on a number of challenges. You win them all, you take the title, and a reputation to not fuck with you.
Sure. Why the hell not? Could use a little exercise.
That's what I'm talking about. Follow me to the arena, fresh meat. They're gonna love you.
Now, this starts the arena side quest. And I can describe that really easily. You go downstairs into a different area and you fight in pit. You get about 2 fights and you do 2 fights in sets of 3. And then you get 1 new chapter every new stage. So like this is stage 1, then we come back here, we'll do another one in stage 2, and then we'll do another one in stage 3. It's a good source of getting lots of income, and you could get some health injections, which are pretty helpful to us right now, but later on we'll just be doing it, just to complete the quest. Like, we don't get anything important out of it, although the very last fight in the series is pretty fun.
Hey, I'm looking for a guy. Used to fight in the arena. Name's Derek Laver.
Derek Laver? Yeah, I know who that is. Heard rumors going around about it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I heard Derek got himself into some shit with some Vori. He decided he didn't want to lose fights they were fixing or something. Just what I heard. But if it's true, I doubt we'll see. But if you want to ask around, if it's about betting, talk to the bookie. He may know more. No one knows more about the fighters than he does.
Thanks. I'll do that.
Anyway, we're not going to start any of that just yet, because we want to do a little bit more exploring. See if there's anything around here that we can get access to. and just cleaning up the area. And I want to get a chance to explain how... See, the Vori jacket is actually helping us out a lot for not having any skill in lockpicking. But we can't really access that anyway. So, just to give a quick explanation for the way how it works. There's, in case you haven't noticed, in the bottom right corner where the minimap is, there's a little time indicator at the top right. It shows you what time it is, and certain quests are available at certain times. Whenever you go to a place that has a bed, there's a couple in each area, you can rest. And then when you rest, you'll actually get an experience bonus and get more experience every time you kill something. And this will mean, like, later on, the experience bonus will be less and less because it'll take more and more experience to level up. However, in the beginning, it's very important to try to maximize that. Now, let's talk about... Well, first, before we talk about crafting, you remember that jacket that we found earlier that gives us the +1 to crafting? Always want to hang on to at least one thing that lets you do something like that. Because that +1 in crafting is going to make a bigger difference much later. Right now, we don't have to worry about it so much because we don't have... the higher prerequisite upgrades require not only greater plans, as they say here, but it requires more crafting. But the cool thing is that right now, all we need for the level 1 and the level 2 stuff is the plans. We don't need to put any points into crafting. So that's pretty generous of them. So for now, we don't want to do any of this just yet because we want to wait until we have unlocked all the plans. And before we unlock the plans, we want to buy an item that's going to boost our charisma so that way we can buy all those plans cheaper. Which is all stuff that we're going to do later. Right now, though, we're just going to we're going to focus on finishing these quests and getting everything started before we kind of get into the meat of the game. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to focus on investigating what happened to this fighter. Maybe this bartender knows something.
There.
Hey, they're back. What can I do you for?
He doesn't know anything. So let's talk to the bookie. And after, we can actually get these fights knocked out.
Hey there, new blood. What can I do you for?
I'm looking for a man named Derek Labor. He fought here.
Sure. Yeah, he fought a couple times. Making a name for himself before he got himself caught in some shit. But you're asking me to speak out of turn, which could come back to bite me. That kind of risk should be worth compensation.
Another man with his hand out. How much do you want?
Let's just say I wouldn't have the same hesitation if I was having this conversation with a tournament champion. At least the winner of the first round.
I'll think about it.
Alright, so we have to beat the first area.
Follow me to the arena, fresh meat. They're gonna love you.
This could be a little easier if we decided to wait until we pick up some more companions later on, but I'm just going to do it right now and get it over with. The cool thing, these fights can be a little bit more difficult, but because you only have to do them once, there's no reason not to use your minds if you're feeling like you're in a tough spot, which is probably exactly what I'm going to do.
Hello there. Ready for a fight? A challenge? Good one, son.
So far, these guys aren't really giving me much trouble. I mean, they did just, like, destroy Scott there, but that's what he's for. He is the distraction. As you can see, when we're fighting these agile types, sometimes they'll just like dodge out of our attack, like that. So that's something you want to keep in mind of when you're fighting these guys. Now, you see, you want to focus this guy with a gun. She can destroy you. Okay, let's get some help. Eventually she's gonna have to reload, so there we go. There we go. Let's put a trap down. Oops, nope. Good spot. There we go. That makes things a lot easier. And you'll notice our screen went green. That means we were poisoned. Definitely something to keep an eye out for. No problem. Now, as you see, that was the first set of 2. We got a few more to go through real quick. But before I do that, I'm going to buy some upgrades with the points that we've accumulated. So how many points do we have? We got 3. Okay, so the first thing, I'm going to put a point into upgraded electric arcs. And what the one we're going to pick is shoot out 3 arcs instead of 2. It's very self-explanatory. All that's going to do is make it so that way, whenever we use the ability, we're going to send out 3 tendrils instead of 2. That's just another opportunity to get a little more attack. And now we have the option of either going the right tree or the left tree. The left tree is going to give us a really powerful ability called Electric Storm, which is an AoE effect that just destroys people, but it's hard to get off if you're fighting anyone with ranged attacks. The right tree is going to end with Magnetic Armor, which is actually going to give us a lot of survivability. And I think that is the way that I'm going to go right now. So we're going to put a point into electric weapons, and what that means increases the chance of immobilization. We're going to have a greater chance of causing them to just get tased, basically. And then we're going to put a point into fluid regeneration. And the next couple of points we're going to put into here to increase our defensive ability. And then we'll put one here. So we're going to invest in this whole tree here. And now we should have a little more survivability, a little more damage for this next. Oh yeah. So just to show it off real quick. See, we fire off 3 now instead of 2. This will be easy. No problem. Okay, now this is going to be more of a problem. We haven't fought these guys yet. These guys actually fire electric balls, which will just completely destroy us when we get hit by them. Our physical armor is not going to have any effect on how much damage we take, so we're just going to take full. And they're also immune to electricity. Well, they're not immune to it, but they take reduced damage from it. So this is definitely going to be a more challenging fight. See, whenever they have charged butts like that, it means that if you get close to them, they're going to try to zap you. At the same time, they're putting out that electric field that makes it hard for us to get close to them. You can't block their ball attacks with your shield, so your best chance is just to shoot them with a gun like what we're doing here. And actually, since we have so much focus, or I should say we have so many focus vials, I'm going to use one right now so we can get out some more lightning attacks. We want to attack the big guys before we kill the last small one, because it makes it, instead of actively seeking us out, they'll do that little tase thing there where they're charging the ground and they're electrically attached to the other ones. If we kill all the small ones, they'll actually actively hunt us out and they'll be a little bit more difficult for us to deal with. And now, much easier, just sit down, clean up. I believe those are called locusts. And then here we go. We're going to take out the last guys. And these guys are just the same Vori that we've been fighting. And I think we'll just put down one of those. Okay, so that guy with the cap on is a different kind that we haven't fought yet. He uses a different fighting style than what we've encountered before. He can actually do a lot of damage to you and send you flying, and you always want to keep an eye on him to do what he just did there. When he charges forward at you like that, it can do a lot of damage and knock you on the ground, but it can also hit his allies. So you want to keep an eye on him and don't let him get away with that, because if he does, you'll be in a world of hurt. It also gives you an opportunity to position him to attack other people in his way and get a lot of free damage off. Alright. As you saw there, we just put off a free mine here to give us a little bit of a hand. And just like before, we want to try to take out the gun guy first. I'm going to try to focus these guys so they all run into it at the same time. Whoop. Whoop. Alright. There we go. Just stay mobile. Some of them are packing pistols, so we have to be careful. Basically, anyone that's got a dagger in their hand and nothing else in the other hand, they have a chance of pulling out a pistol on you. And just keep rolling. Keep staying mobile. Don't let yourself get stuck in one spot for too long, unless you're doing this. Oh, ouch. Jeez. See, there's sometimes where you'll dodge the attack and it'll still go through like that, and it just feels like you're getting scammed. And there we go. And we're gonna get a lot of serum and a lot of health injections for that.
Atta boy! Damn impressive! Your reward for victory!
Nice. Okay. So we cannot continue any further into the tournament now, but we'll have to come back at a later time. The good news, though, is because we beat that first round, we can now talk to him and get him to progress the quest to find what happened to this fighter that this woman wants us to look into. We gotta fight. We gotta figure out what happened to her boyfriend, and hopefully rescue him, or at least get vengeance, or at least get some memento, maybe. Like, I don't know. The important part is we got that knocked out, and that's honestly one of the hardest parts of this first chapter. And the fact that we were able to breeze through it means that we're standing good. Oh, and before I forget, let's spend that last point that we just picked up. So we are going to put that into well, we can't put it into magnetic armor, because if we do, we only have 2 slots in the first place. So if we put it into here, we're not going to be able to throw our lightning bolts. So instead, we're going to pick up this increase in fluid charges, which will let us, right now it lets us fire off 2 lightning bolts, but eventually we're going to fill one of those slots with the magnetic armor passive to give us a little bit more survivability. I'll show it right here. Now we can do that twice in a row when our gun's on cooldown.
Hey there, new blood. What can I do you for?
I'm looking for a man named Derek Labor. You fought here?
Guess you've earned a bit of honesty from me. Poor Derek. Poor Derek. Hit a snag so big it got him knocked out, if you catch my drift. There were 2 fellas after him. More likely that they did him in than the story going round that he simply choked drinking from a glass. Don't you think? Strong fellow like that.
Where can I find the guys?
They're Vori, Mancer. So I'm guessing you can find him hanging around Anton Rogue's warehouse. But I didn't tell you that.
I'll keep you safe. Thanks for the help.
Alright. Now this is actually a great spot for us to check out, so I'm going to leave the episode here. And the next one we'll go after those Vori and question them about what happened to Derek and maybe get some justice. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.